This meeting is being recorded.
Welcome everybody to this week's KubeVirt community meeting. It is the 6th of November. I hope you're having a nice day, a reasonable day, perhaps, wherever you are. We'll get started. Let me just have a quick look. All right, so if you're new to this meeting or you haven't used this opportunity to introduce yourself to this meeting / the community, if you'd like to now, I'll mute and you're welcome to unmute and say good day, who you are and why you're here.
Hi, everyone. My name is Anthony Navarro. I'm from Manitoulin Group of Companies. I am here to contribute however I can, however much, and also my position there is Linux Systems Administrator, and I have an upcoming presentation at the Ohio Linux Fest to actually discuss the topic of KubeVirt.
Awesome. Welcome. On the subject of your talk, if you're talking about KubeVirt, when we get to the upcoming CFP, I'd like you can do it off list. If you could share the details of that, I can put it in our upcoming sessions part, which is decidedly empty at the moment.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'll share that. Because yeah, they want me to put together a whole talk, speak for about an hour. It might potentially end up on YouTube, so no pressure.
When is it, out of interest?
It is on the 15th at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Okay, 15th of November.
Mm-hmm.
Real soon.
Very
Nice one. Oh, welcome again. Is there anyone else that wanted to take this opportunity to introduce themselves? All right. In which case, we'll move along into the scheduled check-in. 1.4 is scheduled for release next week, the 12th of November, coinciding with the first day of KubeCon North America. We also have, so hopefully that's not a surprise to anyone, considering I think we check in this a few times before the release. We've also got an unpublished, if I go to the actual schedule, preliminary schedule for our version 1.5. So the key dates there will be the 12th of February for a feature phase and the 5th of March for GA. So like I said, it is preliminary, subject to change, but it's what we got and it looks good to me. We'll have a look in at our events, which is what I was referring to a little earlier. We've got 2 open CFPs, KubeCon EU 2025, London next year. I can't see it. The 24th of November is the CFP cutoff date for that. And we've also got FOSDEM, which has a cutoff date was the 1st of December. FOSDEM's pretty interesting. All of the dev rooms run their own thing. I think they all have the same deadline, but some dev rooms may have a different deadline. I haven't gone through all of them. There's, I don't know, 30 something. So that is the deadline for the virtualization and cloud infrastructure dev room, which I figured most people would be interested in. And that's going to be in February, start of February next year. Yeah, so Anthony, if you send me the details for your talk, I can put it down here in this table here, which is empty. Okay, agenda. And as always, if you've got anything that you wish to raise in this meeting, you are feel free to add it to the agenda or the open floor. Similarly, we've got pull requests, bugs, things on the mailing list. Anything you want to highlight, you're welcome to add it now during the meeting. I usually try and come back and have a look at stuff. The only contingent is that you are a member of the KubeVirt Dev Google group. That's just a button click, and it's at the top of this document. So on the subject of version 1.4 release next week, I have here the release notes for the user guide, documentation. If anyone would like to peruse them and say, hey, this doesn't belong here, because these are still manually categorized. Although it has become a lot easier now that more people are using the SIG and kind labels. So I thank you very much for that. Yeah, I'll let you go. We're not going to go through that in this meeting. This is more of an announcement. Most folks should be familiar with. We've got some changes with our SIGs. We've got working groups now. In our first working groups, I saw had their had their charters merged. I think this week. That's the architecture, S390X, and Arch ARM. And we've got another working group in the mix. That is the working group code quality. They have a meeting on our calendar, which I've linked there, which is next Thursday. They will be meeting every second week. Yeah, do we have any questions about the working groups? Perfect. In which case, I will pass over to Alay to talk about DRA updates.
Hey, thank you, Andrew. I have quick updates for people who have been following this topic. The API, Kubernetes API has been promoted as of today to beta in Kubernetes. So that's great news. We can start, looking at potentially bringing it down in KubeVirt. We are talking about some of our use cases with DRA and KubeVirt in KubeCon. So folks attending physically or virtually, very welcome to come in and listen about those use cases. And finally, shout out to the unconference session. We had some valuable discussion to make forward progress on the proposal. So thanks everyone for getting involved in that discussion. That's it.
Awesome. And I just wanted to click on this. Aha. Well, I should be adding this to our upcoming sessions. I didn't realize this was in there. Congratulations on getting your talk accepted.
Thanks. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's awesome. If we don't have any questions for Alay, I'll leave a couple of seconds. All right. As I said, I've reached out to a handful of people. I didn't put out a survey, partially because surveys don't usually get a lot of responses. And also it was a very small conference, so I thought it was just easier to ping a subset of people. If I haven't pinged you, I still might. But if you've got feedback that you'd like to share, you can either put it here, or you're welcome to ping me on Slack or send me an email. We will run another unconference session. If you absolutely hated it, maybe you don't want to hear that, but this was a test. It seemed to be relatively successful, and it was always going to have certain teething issues, as I alluded to in one of the emails I sent out. So feedback is the only way we can make things, these things better, and to make sure that we don't change anything that worked really well for people, and that we try and change things that didn't work well for people. So I'd love to hear if you have any thoughts. already, I think, for next time. So yeah, as we go through the version 1.5 development process, if as topics kind of hopefully percolate in your brains, put them aside and we can talk about them as we head into 1.6, which I think whatever our schedule is the start of March, so it'll be towards the end of February as the schedule stands currently. I think for the next one, unless I get any radical feedback that is a departure from this, we'll probably run just 2 rooms, and we won't have the first day run by any particular SIG. We'll just have open slather, people can put in their topics. We'll run a vote at the start of the day, and we'll determine the schedule in the 2 rooms based on that. So hopefully that makes sense. Did anyone want to say anything in particular about the unconference before we move into the triage?
Hey, I had a quick thought about the unconference. Maybe this is something we can discuss in the sense that voting for the topics during the discussion is a great way to get conflict or to scheduling things, but I'm worried that the topics which are unpopular will be left out from the entire two-day agenda. So if we can have some kind of a way where we mix and match the popular and unpopular topics, maybe that helps in spreading out the discussion a little bit.
It's an interesting idea. Does anyone have any thoughts? My immediate reaction is if it's an unpopular, then it might make sense to have a smaller gathering of people talk about it. For instance, if it's only got 1 or 2 plus ones, then that could be a good candidate just to meet up over a Slack or something at a different time, just potentially.
Yeah, that's a good middle ground. So a process for making that work would be great.
Yep, sounds good. Do you mind putting that into the things to change or ping me on Slack, just so I don't forget it?
Sure.
Thank you very much. Okay, we will move on to the triage. If anyone has any thoughts, please interrupt me, or save it till the end and we'll come back to it. So this one, it is a bug fix. Seems to be relatively straightforward in terms of it just seems to be a bit of a find and replace. This means nothing to me, so I'd appreciate anyone offering some pointers on either who to tag.
You can CC me.
Awesome. Thanks, Federico. CC at
FOSS.
every time.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe next time I'll get it. Number 2. VSOC test flake. Extremely small.
I think that this one is just for test purpose because he wants to debug why the VSOC test is failing. I think.
So nothing to do?
Yeah, I think that this is it.
Oh, okay. All right. In which case, we'll move along. I don't recall adding these two. So if you added this PR, please speak up.
I have it. I did it. Yeah. So regarding the first one, can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So it's a PR that should be a fix to an issue that arose earlier, like a week ago, where VMs with multiple sockets and ARM can start due to default hot plugging topology setup. It's a relatively small change, but it is quite impactful. So I like the opinion specifically of Igor, who I know worked on this effort.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the heads up. So I can take it from here for the review.
Thank you.
Sure. No problem. Thank you. Okay. So yeah, I've already seen it. So yeah, okay, I will take a look. Thanks.
And regarding the second one, this is also mine. This is more of a code general improvement. It's the decoupling of node labeler. Well, the inference and the labeling logic of the node labeler. It's quite a big PR, but I haven't really seen any activity on it for the past 3 weeks or so. So I just wanted to raise it, the community. There is a design proposal for more context. I believe it's attached in the description.
Sorry, I didn't quite catch that one.
I said there is a design proposal regarding the scope of this one. If anyone wants to poke at that.
Oh, nice.
Hey, Andrew, I'm interested in helping with review on this.
Wonderful. All right.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else?
Well, actually, I already had a look, and code looks good to me. Actually, my only concern, and I want to hear, I requested a feedback from Vladik, was the increase of the memory that the Virt handler is going to use. And I just want to know if this increase is reasonable, is acceptable, or not. This, so I will probably ping offline Vladik to get the feedback.
Hey, that was exactly why I was interested in this PR. So we have a SIG scale performance job. I would be curious to look at how this PR affects the numbers on those benchmarks as well. So
Yeah, he already did. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I haven't really done anything that much in terms of benchmarking. Just the regular stuff that was asked regarding the memory differences, memory footprint, as well as some profiling data. But it's not quite useful. I believe additional work could be done here.
and just a process question: do we have any kind of date we are shooting for with regards to this PR? Just wanted to prioritize it accordingly.
Not any concrete deadline for me, no. Whenever
thanks.
is possible is good.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Thank you.
So it sounds like if I can read between the lines, I don't think LA is going to be reviewing that before KubeCon next week.
Sure.
Okay. In the mailing list, so I've been looking over the last 2 weeks because obviously we didn't meet here last week. Just to highlight this one from Daniel, who looks like it's already dropped. So this is a occasionally recurring chore that happens, which is the removal of users with no contributions in the last 12 months from the KubeVirt organization. Just a bit of automated pruning. However, as it says here, not all contributions are captured by dev stats. They're very GitHub focused. So if this includes you, if you are an active contributor in the KubeVirt community, but not necessarily having any activity specifically on GitHub, and you do not wish to be removed, please let Daniel know either offline or in this thread or on the PR. We've got a couple of bugs. I'm going to do them back to front. Yeah, so this one seems to be found a bug working on an S390X PR, an issue with the grace period. Not really sure, apart from Docibot very helpfully adding the SIG virtualization label. I'm not really sure whose domain this might fall under.
It looks like they're fixing the PR themselves, are they? Or the issue themselves, PR underneath.
This is the issue they found it on.
Okay.
If only life was so straightforward. Yeah, so shutdown logic. Is anyone here able to potentially have a look at this?
Hey, Andrew, I will try to take a look at this. Please.
Awesome. Thanks, Igor.
Yeah, sure.
And one more. Do we have someone from the networking team? Eddie's here.
Many. Many of us are here. We are here to serve.
That's why you get your continued invitations. The past network binding plugin, does that fall under your domain?
Yes.
I know you're big on the network binding plugins. Perfect. Thank you, Eddie. So just one more thing, and this is just a little celebration. I don't know if he's here. We've got a flaky test has been fixed. Hooray! Is Aurel here?
Oh, I don't think he's here.
Is anyone here able to have a quick little 10-second, hey, this is what it does, to save us reading it?
What you want to celebrate? It's like it's the regular story. We create a feature, then we
Always.
introduce bugs, and then we fix it. That's it. It's simple.
This is more specifically
it
to a flaky test, right?
No, it is actually a flaky test that showed that there is a real problem. So it's a success of testing that shows that it doesn't show always directly that there is a problem, but if you run it enough time, you will see that there is a problem.
The problem is not with the test. The problem is with the code.
Okay.
Can someone please give an overview of what the issue was and what was the fix?
Ed, you want to take it?
I can, if you want, you can take it.
I'm not entirely sure that I know, but I think that the status reporting of the interfaces, sometimes interfaces that were identified by the guest agent were just overridden by the interfaces that were identified by the Virt controller, and so they just we overrid them, and they didn't show up in the status. So what this fix does is it just takes those interfaces separately and appends them to the slice of interfaces.
I see, thanks. Do we plan on backporting this?
It is backported.
Okay, thanks.
It is in it got backported to 1.4, I think. I hope I don't know if it was merged, but I think it was. It must be merged. It's a blocker otherwise for the release. In general, we have the bigger picture. I would say that we have at least two components that are updating the VMI manifest. So we have the Virt controller and we have the Virt handler. Both of them are updating that status even. So they compete sometime, and it's important for if there are things that the Virt handler is owning, the Virt controller should not override it, and the opposite is also correct. So they can add more information or they can update existing information, but they should not override it.
Cool. LA, were you asking if it was backported to versions before 1.4? Was your interest in 1.4?
Yes.
No need. No, it's not needed. It was introduced only 1.4.
Gotcha.
I believe we are running into a similar bug where we expected an IP address to be in the status, but we're not finding it. So could be that it's a separate issue. I'll look at it and have it in the agenda for next community meeting.
You'll be at KubeCon for the next community meeting.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I'll find a way.
Alrighty, folks. Unless someone has added something to our agenda, and they have not, that's it for today. I'll mute now if anyone wants to pipe in with a last-minute thought or question or concern or whatever. In which case, that's a wrap. Thank you all very much for being here. I hope you have a lovely rest of the day wherever you are, and an even better weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.